All right, Matthew chapter 23, part 2. So we're going to start seventh woe. Jesus concludes the woes by showing that the Pharisees claim to honor the prophets of old, but they are just as guilty as their own forefathers who persecuted and killed messengers from God. God's measure of wrath eventually reaches a tipping point. For that reason, Jesus declares that this generation of Israel leaders will suffer the consequences of the many righteous people unjustly killed throughout their history. Far from changing their ways, this hateful persecution will continue in the years after Jesus is crucified and raised from the dead. Matthew 23, 29 through 36. Matthew chapter 23 ends with Jesus' lament over Jerusalem. Speaking from his divine perspective, he mourns over how people would have protected the people, but they refused. John 5, 39 through 40. This is the end point of Jesus' public ministry. The following chapters contain extensive teachings given to the disciples, but no more public lessons or encounters. There will be no more opportunities for the people to hear directly from him. Worse, the city will soon experience horrific wrath as the protection of God is removed. Matthew 24, 1 through 2. The next time people of Jerusalem will see Jesus openly will be when he returns. Period. Revelations 19, 11 through 15. As a conquering judge and king. Matthew 23, 37 through 39. Okay, so the write-down part 2. Matthew 23 details Jesus' condemnation of religious hypocrisy, particularly among the scribes and Pharisees who preach righteousness but fail to practice it, emphasizing outward show over inner transformation. My pastor was just talking about this. Jesus declares a series of woes against them for burdening people with religious demands, shutting the kingdom of heaven, being self-serving, and lack of genuine justice, mercy, and faithfulness. The chapter calls for humility in service, teaches that spiritual greatness comes from serving others, not from honor and titles, and concludes with Jesus lamenting Jerusalem's rejection of him and foretelling his destruction. So the key themes: hypocrisy. Jesus exposes the scribes and Pharisees as hypocrites who, like whitewashed tombs, appear righteous on the outside but are filled with impurity, greed, and self-indulgence on the inside. Religious show versus inner purity. They focus on outward displays of piety and meticulous adherence to minor aspects of the law, such as tithing species, while neglecting the weightier matters of justice, mercy, and faithfulness. Spiritual arrogance and humility. They love the most prominent seats and titles like rabbi and sought honor from others, contrasting with Jesus' teaching that the greatest among his followers should be their servant. Blind guides. Jesus calls them blind guides for misguiding the people, making people twice as fit for hell, and ensuring converts will be evil. Future judgment. The chapter concludes with a prophecy of judgment on Jerusalem and the religious leaders for their role in killing the prophets and rejecting God. So Jesus' instructions is 4 of them. Number 1, obey, don't imitate. Jesus told the crowd to obey the religious leaders' teachings because they sat in the seat of Moses, but do not follow their example as they did not practice what they preached. Number 2, serve and be humble. True greatness is found in serving others, and anyone who exalts themselves will be humbled, while anyone who humbles themselves will be exalted. Number 3, focus on the heart. Jesus emphasized that inner purity and character are more important than external rituals or appearances, urging people to clean the inside of the cup. Number 4, one true father and teacher. Followers should not be called father, teachers, or masters, as God is the true spiritual father and Jesus is the one true teacher. Period. Mic drop. Clock it. Whatever. Alright, y'all. So that is all I have from the breakdown of Matthew chapter 23. I'll see you guys later. Bye.